You're standing in the grocery aisle, scanning shelves packed with soy sauce bottles. Dark liquid, familiar labels, promises of authentic Asian flavor. You grab what looks right, toss it in your cart, and move on. But here's something most people never realize. That bottle might not contain actual soy sauce at all. No fermented soybeans. No traditional brewing. Just chemicals, artificial colors, and compounds that could interact dangerously with your medications. And the worst part? The labels are designed to make you think you're buying the real thing. What if I told you that 5 of the most popular soy sauce brands sitting in American kitchens right now are essentially industrial chemistry, experiments disguised as traditional condiments? We're talking about acid-processed liquids that form potentially harmful compounds, reduced sodium versions that actually create medication risks for heart patients, and budget bottles that rush months of fermentation into a few weeks using shortcuts that strip away everything authentic about soy sauce. But it gets darker. The absolute worst offenders aren't even sold in stores. They're served to the most vulnerable people in our society, nursing home residents and hospital patients, who consume these fake products daily without anyone checking what's really inside those tiny packets. Stay with me, because by the end of this investigation, you'll know exactly which brands to throw out immediately and which two actually deserve a place in your kitchen. Let's start with a name that practically defined Asian American cooking for generations. For decades, La Choy sat on American shelves as a friendly face of home cooking. That red label promised authentic Oriental flavor. Every grocery store carried it. Families trusted it to make their stir-fries taste like restaurant takeout. Grandmothers used it in their secret recipes. It felt safe, familiar, American. Then in 2019, food safety investigators started looking closer. What they found changed everything we thought we knew about America's most popular soy sauce brand. La Choy doesn't use traditional fermentation. Not even close. Instead of aging soybeans naturally for months in wooden barrels like authentic breweries do, they use something called acid hydrolysis. It's a chemical process that breaks down soy proteins in hours using hydrochloric acid, the same acid used in industrial cleaning products and metal processing. Open a bottle right now and taste it straight. Notice that sharp metallic hit that makes your tongue recoil slightly? That bitter aftertaste that clings to your mouth long after you've swallowed? Real soy sauce develops rounded, complex flavors through slow fermentation. This tastes harsh because it's been chemically rushed through a process that nature intended to take months. But here's where it gets genuinely concerning for anyone cooking for their family. When soy proteins get treated with hydrochloric acid, a compound called 3-MCPD forms as a byproduct. The FDA and European food authorities have been studying this chemical for years because animal studies link high levels to kidney damage and reproductive harm. We're not talking about trace amounts either. Industrial acid hydrolysis creates concentrated levels that researchers are still trying to understand. Now check the sodium content while you're reading that label. 1 tablespoon delivers 900 milligrams of sodium. That's nearly 40% of what children should consume in an entire day. Unlike naturally fermented soy sauce that gains depth and complexity from time, La Choy relies on massive salt loads to mask the missing flavors that proper brewing would have created. The transformation happened gradually. Back in the 1960s, American food manufacturers discovered they could replace traditional fermentation with industrial chemistry. What used to require wooden barrels, careful temperature control, and master brewers monitoring the process for months became a factory operation completed in days. Chinese-American families who immigrated decades earlier remember when La Choy actually tasted different, richer, more authentic, before mass production and profit margins took over. The company used slower methods that created genuine depth. But as demand grew and Wall Street rewarded speed over authenticity, the shortcuts became standard practice. Economic pressure to compete with cheaper imports pushed American manufacturers toward faster production. Acid hydrolysis allowed companies to produce thousands of gallons in the time traditional fermentation took for hundreds. Shareholders celebrated the efficiency. Nobody asked what was being lost in translation. The company's response to safety concerns? Minimal. They meet FDA limits for 3-MCPD. Technically legal, but they continue marketing chemical shortcuts as authentic flavor to families who assume soy sauce means fermented soybeans. For parents trying to cook healthy meals at home, this represents everything wrong with convenience food marketing. You think you're adding authentic Asian flavor to family dinners. You're actually serving chemical experiments that prioritize production speed over safety. Meanwhile, real fermented soy sauce costs about the same and delivers actual umami complexity without industrial byproducts or excessive sodium. So while that familiar red label promises the authentic taste you grew up with, you're gambling with your family's health for the convenience of chemical acceleration over natural time. Your doctor said to watch your sodium. Standard advice for anyone managing blood pressure or heart conditions. So you did the responsible thing and switched to Kikkoman's less sodium version. Heart-healthy messaging on the label. Reduced sodium claims. Same trusted brand name you've used for years. You felt good about following medical advice. But here's what your cardiologist didn't tell you, probably because they don't know it themselves. When food companies reduce sodium in fermented products, they don't just use less salt. They replace it with potassium chloride and other salt substitutes that can interact dangerously with common heart medications. A single tablespoon still contains 575 milligrams of sodium. That's not exactly low. But here's the real problem. It also contains potassium compounds that seniors taking ACE inhibitors, blood pressure medications, or diuretics shouldn't consume without medical supervision. Many elderly patients take drugs like lisinopril, enalapril, or spironolactone that tell their kidneys to retain potassium. Add more potassium chloride from supposedly heart-healthy soy sauce, and blood levels can spike dangerously within hours. Open both bottles side by side and taste the difference yourself. The regular version flows smooth and balanced on your tongue. The less sodium version tastes artificially sweet with a chemical aftertaste that lingers uncomfortably. That's because they've added corn syrup and flavor enhancers to compensate for the reduced salt. So while you're cutting sodium, you're increasing sugar content and consuming artificial additives that can spike blood glucose. You followed cardiac advice and accidentally sabotage your diabetes management. Emergency room doctors have documented cases of seniors hospitalized with hyperkalemia, dangerously high potassium levels, after switching to potassium-based low-sodium products without checking how they interact with their prescriptions. The symptoms come on fast. Irregular heartbeat, muscle weakness, dangerous changes in heart rhythm that can become life-threatening. Dr. Sarah Chun, a geriatric cardiologist at Mayo Clinic, explained the systemic problem perfectly. We tell patients to reduce sodium, but we don't have time to review every food label for potassium compounds or artificial additives. We trust that heart healthy means safe for heart patients. That trust is being exploited. The pharmaceutical industry requires extensive interaction testing before new medications reach patients. Multiple years of trials, careful monitoring, detailed warnings about what not to mix. The food industry operates under completely different rules where ingredients considered generally recognized as safe can be combined without testing how they affect people taking multiple medications. The bottle does warn about potassium content, but in fine print most people never read. Your doctor suggested less sodium, not potassium compounds that interact with your prescriptions. For seniors genuinely trying to follow medical dietary advice, this represents pure exploitation of health-conscious consumers dressed up as cardiac care. Skip the medical marketing entirely. Use regular soy sauce in smaller amounts instead. Your heart medications deserve better than chemistry experiments disguised as doctors' orders. The word value is splashed across Walmart's Great Value soy sauce label, with promises of being naturally brewed. For seniors on fixed incomes trying to stretch grocery budgets, it feels like smart shopping. Why spend $4 on name brands when this delivers the same dark color and salty taste for under $2? But that bargain price should raise immediate red flags instead of triggering satisfaction about saving money. Real soy sauce fermentation takes 6 to 18 months in traditional brewing, wooden barrels or ceramic vats, controlled temperature and humidity. Master brewers tasting batches weekly and making adjustments based on decades of experience. Great Value cuts that entire process down to 3 or 4 weeks using accelerated fermentation with added enzymes and temperature manipulation. You're not getting aged complexity. You're getting rushed chemistry that approximates appearance while missing everything that makes fermentation valuable. Then there's the math that simply doesn't add up. Legitimate soy sauce production costs include months of warehouse space, ongoing fermentation monitoring, quality control testing, and ingredients that actually matter. Industry experts estimate $3 to $4 per bottle in materials, time, and facility costs alone. Great value retails for $1.89. Where's the profit margin? There isn't one, unless they're cutting corners on the exact processes that create real flavor. Independent taste tests consistently show great value lacks the depth and balance of properly fermented soy sauce. The liquid runs thin and watery. The taste hits one-dimensional, salty without the complex amino acids that develop during slow fermentation. Pour it next to authentic soy sauce and watch the difference. Real sauce clings slightly to the spoon with rich amber color variations. This flows like colored salt water because that's essentially what speed fermentation produces. For seniors managing grocery budgets while trying to maintain nutrition, great value represents the hidden cost of cheap food. You save $2 up front but lose the amino acids, natural glutamates, and balanced minerals that make soy sauce nutritionally valuable beyond just salt and color. The real expense comes later. Without proper fermentation, creating those complex flavor compounds, you need significantly more sauce to achieve the same satisfaction. That cheap bottle gets used up faster, contains more sodium per serving to compensate for missing depth, and delivers less nutritional benefit than traditional brewing. What looks like smart spending becomes expensive when you calculate sodium per flavor unit and nutritional value per dollar spent. The economics reveal how cost-cutting affects quality at every level. Traditional breweries employ people who understand fermentation as both science and art. Industrial facilities employ technicians who monitor computer screens and follow predetermined formulas with no room for judgment or adjustment. The difference shows up immediately in the final product. When you're grocery shopping and you see that elegant bottle with gold trim and traditional Chinese characters, premium positioning, heritage marketing, promises of authentic Hong Kong flavor since 1888, it looks like you're investing in genuine craftsmanship. Lee Kum Kee has built an entire brand identity around luxury and tradition, but that premium price doesn't guarantee premium ingredients. Food scientists who analyzed Lee Kum Kee's premium formula found sodium benzoate, caramel coloring, and flavor enhancers like disodium inosonate. These are the exact same artificial additives found in cheap grocery store brands. So why does it matter? Because you're paying $6 to $8 for what amounts to mass-produced soy sauce with expensive marketing. The heritage comes from the label design and brand storytelling, not from the brewing process. Real aged soy sauce develops complex flavors through months of natural fermentation that create hundreds of distinct compounds scientists still don't fully understand. Lee Kum Kee shortcuts that process with chemical flavor enhancers that make everything taste louder, more intense, more salty, without adding authentic depth or complexity. Manufacturing happens in industrial facilities designed for volume production, not artisanal brewing. The traditional methods mentioned on the label refer to recipe origins from over a century ago, not current production processes. Compare the price to actual craft-brewed soy sauce from small batch producers. Authentic artisan brewers charge similar prices, but deliver genuinely aged products without artificial enhancers or production shortcuts. Lee Kum Kee charges premium prices while using industrial methods, then relies on packaging and marketing to justify the markup. For health-conscious consumers willing to invest in quality ingredients, this represents pure markup for packaging rather than process improvements. That extra cost pays for gold foil, elegant bottle design, and heritage storytelling, not better fermentation or superior ingredients. The sodium content runs just as high as cheaper alternatives, around 900 milligrams per tablespoon, while artificial flavor enhancers train your taste buds to expect unnaturally intense saltiness that makes properly balanced food taste bland by comparison. This is it, the absolute worst offender in the entire soy sauce industry. Not premium brands with artificial enhancers, not budget shortcuts, not even chemically processed alternatives. Those tiny plastic packets that flood nursing homes, hospitals, and care facilities across America. What's inside isn't soy sauce at all. In 2020, the largest food service investigation in decades uncovered something genuinely alarming about institutional soy sauce packets. Major suppliers were distributing products that contained no fermented soybeans whatsoever, just water, salt, corn syrup, and caramel coloring. Laboratory analysis revealed these packets contained industrial food-grade chemicals designed to mimic soy sauce appearance without any actual brewing process. Facilities caring for vulnerable seniors were unknowingly serving colored salt water disguised as traditional condiments. No fermentation tanks. No aging process. No soybeans. Just mixing vats combining water, sodium, artificial flavoring, and brown dye in ratios designed to approximate what people expect soy sauce to look and taste like. Open one and taste it directly if you dare. The liquid hits sharp and chemical on your tongue. It burns slightly. Then it leaves a metallic residue that clings to your mouth for minutes afterward. That's because you're consuming industrial flavoring compounds never intended for direct consumption, concentrated to extreme levels to work in tiny portions. The targeting of vulnerable populations makes this particularly disturbing. Nursing homes and assisted living facilities rely on these packets because they're cheap, shelf-stable, portion-controlled, and require no refrigeration. But residents with compromised immune systems and complex medication regimens are consuming fake food products disguised as real condiments with every meal. Food safety advocates documented facilities serving thousands of these packets monthly to seniors who trusted they were receiving actual soy sauce. Instead, they got chemistry experiments that provide zero nutritional value while delivering excessive sodium loads. The residents consuming these fake condiments daily have no way to advocate for themselves. They can't research products. They can't demand alternatives. They're completely dependent on facilities that prioritize cost savings over food quality. Family members visiting elderly relatives often bring real food from home, not realizing that even basic condiments served by the facility may be industrial imitations that bear no relationship to actual food. The systematic deception extends beyond individual products to represent a broader failure to protect vulnerable populations from institutional food fraud. After exposing acid-processed chemicals, medication interaction risks, budget shortcuts, premium illusions, and institutional fraud, you might think authentic soy sauce has disappeared completely. It hasn't. Hidden among the industrial alternatives, a few brands still honor slow fermentation that creates real umami without artificial enhancers. Kikkoman naturally brewed soy sauce does something radical in an industry full of shortcuts. It keeps fermentation honest. Traditional brewing, that takes months. Whole soybeans, roasted wheat, salt, and water ferment naturally in controlled conditions until enzymes create genuine amino acids and complex flavors. No acid hydrolysis. No artificial accelerants. No laboratory chemistry. Third-party testing confirms what you can taste immediately. Clear amber color from natural fermentation. Balanced sodium levels that enhance food instead of overpowering it. Umami depth that comes from patient brewing, not chemical enhancement. The liquid flows with slight viscosity, smells warm and rounded instead of sharp, and tastes layered. Salt first, then wheat sweetness, then lingering savory depth that builds gradually. For seniors managing sodium intake, the balanced formulation means you need less sauce to achieve the same flavor satisfaction. Real fermentation creates natural glutamates that enhance taste without requiring excessive salt loads. Yamasa soy sauce delivers complexity that mass producers have been trying to replicate for decades with flavor enhancers and shortcuts. They've been fermenting soy sauce since 1645 in Choshi, Japan, where ocean air and consistent temperatures create ideal brewing conditions. Their process remains unchanged. Whole soybeans, roasted wheat, sea salt, and thyme. No artificial accelerants. No preservatives. No compromises. Independent chef testing confirms deep mahogany color with golden highlights from extended aging. Rich aroma combining roasted grain with subtle smokiness. Layered taste that builds complexity instead of hitting one-note saltiness. The sauce pours with natural thickness, releases warm grain aromas instead of chemical sharpness, and tastes balanced with sweet, salty, and umami notes complementing each other. This represents specialty brewing done right. No exotic marketing claims. Just authentic craftsmanship that delivers superior cooking performance through fermentation techniques passed down through generations. From acid-processed chemicals disguised as authentic fermentation to heart-healthy formulas that interact dangerously with medications, budget shortcuts rushing months of brewing into weeks, premium bottles charging luxury prices for artificial enhancers, and institutional packets serving colored salt water to vulnerable seniors. The soy sauce industry counts on you not understanding fermentation, not reading ingredient lists, and not realizing that naturally brewed or premium don't automatically mean healthier or more authentic. But now you know what to avoid and what to trust. Whether it's choosing naturally fermented soy sauce over acid hydrolyzed alternatives, reading labels to spot artificial flavor enhancers, or understanding that real brewing takes months, not weeks, small choices make massive differences in the authenticity and safety of what you're consuming. Your family deserves condiments that enhance food through traditional craftsmanship instead of chemical shortcuts that prioritize speed over safety.